I'm sorry that I had to stop in the middle talking about something incredible. Hello, this is Daniel Van's views of wrestling, and welcome to second shot at trying to do a recap of MLW Fusion. Sorry about the first live try, but they lost connection, and when it loses connection, you either have to restart. If this was a computer or laptop, you would have to restart the laptop or computer to get the website or app to work better. So that's why I had to do that with the iPad right here. Let me play the sound effect first. Okay. I was talking last time about MLW Fusion and how Trey Miguel was doing some great things, and how Cotto Brazil and Trey they both had to have had some great training because how they synchronized their bodies together at the same time. And you have to do that with the hip toss, and you have to do it with this maneuver right here. It was, like I said last time, how he had Cotto sprung off the top rope, middle rope onto Trey Miguel's neck, and he turned sideways along with Miguel to get back in control of this match. And they both were middleweight contenders, and Cotto was a top contender, so that's why Rich Bocchini said how he thought the champion Maxwell J. Friedman is afraid of Cotto Brazil. I gotta be honest with you, somebody like Maxwell J. Friedman, who was born with a silver spoon in his mouth and was raised like he had a silver spoon in his mouth. Everything came easy for him, handed to him, and never had to work hard. So anybody that poses a challenge to him, he's gonna be afraid of. Especially when you move around like Cotto Brazil, he's really gonna be threatening to Maxwell J. Friedman. Cotto Brazil won with a standing up sliced bread. Then in the back, when they came back from commercial, he got assaulted by Maxwell J. Friedman. And so I think this is going to eventually build into a title match between the two. So I believe this is great opening, and it's a great post-match segment. But speaking of segments, cameraman tried to talk to former heavyweight champion Shane Swerve Strickland, and he wouldn't talk. So that is really great character development for not just in general, but for the show. As he's going in a rematch, he's going to go against the person who beat him for the title, low key. So it's really great development for the match. And last week, or the week before, they said that didn't show up for contract. No, not contract. I'm sorry. He hadn't shown up for a autograph signing. So an additional character development for him. See what happens next. And in this show, they were in Chicago, I believe. They were talking about one night only. Not one night only. That's TNA. That's Impact Wrestling's pay-per-views. But on my parents' anniversary and the night after, they're going to be in Miami. It's going to be a Thursday night, Never Say Never event. And they showed another match that was signed. 2/3 of the New Heart Foundation challenges Pentagon Jr. and Phoenix defend with Conan in their corner, defending against the Heart Foundation. Because Brian Pillman Jr. is so new and so young and so new, not just to wrestling but to the company, I got a feeling he's gonna be outside, and it's gonna be the British Bulldog Jr. and Teddy Hart challenging them. Then they show a no ropes, no holds barred match just announced earlier. It's going to be Simon Gotch against his former friend and former, quote, leader, Filthy Tom Lawler. It's going to be a False Count Anywhere match between the original La Parka, who uses the name L.A. Park, and he will go against PCO, whose real name is just like the letters say, and it's Pierre Carl Ouellet, but being that he's French-Canadian, I think it's Ouellet. Then they'll have the middleweight champion MJF go against Rush. They'll have the debut of former Impact Wrestling star Andrew Everett. And then they'll have 0 Hour on the 14th of next month. Filthy Tom Lawler will go against L.A. Park, presented by Selena De La Renta. And later on, her heavyweight champion, Low Key, will defend the title against Conan if he's still champion. At this moment in time, he was the champion, but that could have changed by the end of the show. Then Maxwell J. Friedman defends the middleweight title, just made official, against against Cotto Brazil. And I always forget this guy's name. Justin Cade and a mystery opponent. I hope they bring somebody in new, because if they bring in Justin Cade's foreign tag team partner, it's not really going to be a mystery. It's going to be expected. Then they have Brian Pillman Jr. next, and Teddy Hart talking about Tommy Dreamer. And I'm going to have to play this for y'all because I forgot what was said.
The dream is sitting on the couch eating ice cream. You're a guy that was never a role model for kids. We don't want any advice from you.
The list goes on and on. The legends that have contributed to this business. But Tommy Dreamer, let's face it, you're just an has-been, washed up, trying to be your favorite wrestler. The American dream, Dusty Rhodes. And how long have you been dreaming about that? How long have you tried to live that dream? Have you made your dreams come true yet? I think not. Because otherwise, why would you be trying to latch onto me? Why would you be trying to have a match with the youngest, brightest star in this business. Let's face it. The last time this Kane met an old man trying to hold us back in the business, telling us we're doing too much. That cane got broken. That cane got broken.
Tommy
over
Dreamer
the
is one of
skull
those guys.
Kevin Sullivan.
Less is more. So guess what? Brian Pillman Jr. is going to treat you like a whore, and we're going to use you like a door. And guys, we want that chance. Tommy Dreamer, a stepping stone for my favorite man right here.
Keep dreaming, Tommy.
The loose cannon.
Dream it up. I want you to dream up all your dreams. Because I'll be that much more full. I'm not the nightmare. I'm not the legend killer, no. I'm the dream eater. And I'll eat whatever dreams you have left. And I'll consume your old heart.
Okay, so next week, I'm glad I looked back at this and did this recap, because I was wondering why this match didn't happen tonight, and it's going to happen next Friday night. Brian Pillman Jr. goes against Tommy Dreamer. That's a match I really want to see. Marco Stunt is against Gringo Loco. And I've been really impressed by Marco Stunt, because whereas he's a small man like X-Pac and Rey Mysterio Jr., but because he's short like Rey Mysterio, what's impressive is not that he's short, is that Rey Mysterio always had a lot of muscle. He has no muscle, so makes it looks even harder for him to get around, but he moves incredibly well. Like head scissors, when he's standing up, a head scissors takedown. And I have to look through this. Kicked him in the middle in his chest so that he could do a suicide dive, and he actually went through the bottom rope to connect it. I know he jumped off the top rope and want to see what it was, because I honestly forgot what it was. Head scissors on the outside of the floor. That's what it was. He kicked out of an angel's wings and out of a moonsault, I believe. He moved out of the way when Loco, I'm sorry, keep on. For some reason, I'm thinking of Luca for some reason. When Loco, his next move was like a corkscrew. I think he was trying to do like a corkscrew. Somersault. Missed that, and then moved out of the way when Marco Stunt went for, I believe Chris Jericho calls this the lion saw, but it's like a springboard moonsault. Then he countered butterfly suplex into Frankensteiner. Loco kicked out of that. Then he ducked the clothesline. Then he went for tilt-a-whirl codebreaker for the pin. So yeah, I'd say just the action and the character development, is enough to watch. If they were to do this during Christmas Eve, it'd be worth it to see it during Christmas Eve because of all the development and the action they have. I was really, there's a lot of fans on Twitter that I follow, and there's a lot of, so I see a lot of tweets tweets being in notifications. I get notified from every tweet that's sent. So I found out how they tore a couple of pieces of hair off his head. Shane Strickland's head. And he even hit right here, he hit his finisher. If the referee wasn't knocked out, he would have probably won the match and the title back. He had to wake up the referee, and anybody that's been watching wrestling a long time knows that the referee doesn't usually wake up right away, so that's part of why he didn't win. They sent down another referee, and he kicked out at 2. So the original referee stayed out the rest of the match. It's really one thing they've gotten better at is that they don't do what Dusty Rhodes called the Dusty Finish, where a referee sees something happen, and after the replacement referee makes a decision, the original referee has to let him know what happened. So they don't do that as much, and I think it's better for the business, so it helps tell a better story. Then after he lost the title, I'm not sure if this was breaking kayfabe or if it was a shoot promo, but Shane Strickland was whatever he was doing, he was fussing, throwing a tantrum like we used to call it in the old days. And it got so bad, he was saying the F word a couple of times, which they censored, thankfully. And he said the fans were part of the problem, and he wasn't upset at the management. He was upset at, not upset at management, he was upset at the booker, Court Bauer, which I don't know why he has that name. But, he said that he was letting them know that he was terminating his contract. And then when he said that, they cut off his microphone. So because he said he was terminating his contract, and it makes me believe it was closer to real life than usual. Then people came out, like the referees and a couple of guys in the suit, came out from the back, and when they were trying to tell him, come on, either get to the back or talking to him, he flipped him off, and that was censored. Yeah, that was censored also, along with his language, and I said to the TV, I haven't seen that since the 90s. And let me be more clear about that. I hadn't seen them do that on a wrestling show since the 1990s. But the most interesting thing about that was, in real life, it looked like he did part ways with the company, possibly go into the WWE, so it's going to be interesting to see what they do in next week's show. And I'm sorry if y'all like to hear the music that I usually play in the back for the show. But tonight having to restart this, I just didn't have the time to play a song because it's a minute left. Please tune in this Monday, Tuesday night, and Wednesday night as I not only do a recap of the live shows, but I talk about the old shows and that Ric Flair match against Dusty Rhodes, that Starrcade 85, I believe, from the Ric Flair Collection DVD. Thank y'all, and goodbye.